Have you ever been inspired coming up against an opponent and their deck just wailed on you and you wanted to try that deck for yourself? Well, that's what inspiration hit me for today's deck. Today we are playing Ria Ivor, Bane of Bladehold, and we're going to build our own version of the deck to see what we can come up with and see what this thing can really do. So as I just said, I was very inspired by somebody who actually kicked my butt with this deck, but I didn't get to see a lot of the deck because they did it in such a fast fashion. I really only saw Ria and like one other spell in their deck. So I have no idea how they really constructed their version, so we're kind of making this up as we go. So for those who don't know what Ria Ivor does, I mean, I kind of overlooked her. The Bane of Bladehold here, for 2, a white and a black, you get a 3/4 Phyrexian Knight with Battle Cry, which means whenever you attack with her, all your other attacking creatures get +1/+0 until end of turn. And then at the beginning of combat on your turn, the next time a target creature would deal combat damage to one or more players this combat, prevent the damage, and if damage is prevented this way, create that many 1/1 Phyrexian Might tokens. So that means, like, if you hit them with Ria herself for 3, you're going to create 3 tokens at the end of the combat step when the damage is prevented. So the idea here is to flood the board with might tokens. We're not going for poisoning them out. We're going for beating them to death very rapidly with big might tokens. I mean, once in a while you might get a poison kill off of this, but it's not very often. So let's take a look at the rest. Starting with my protection column as usual. Brave the Elements. You can use this as an offensive thing or a defensive thing because you can protect Ria or you can force her through. This one's kind of iffy because it does not work with our black stuff because, as you noted in the corner there, the name of the deck is Cheap Rancid Beef. We're using a lot of the big black cheap discounted creatures that have drawbacks, so that's where the deck name came from. But this still works with some things. So we also have God's Willing, protection from the color, so you can, again, offensive, defensive. We have indestructibility and hexproof, indestructible, hexproof, and then you can also force something through with Skrelv. Swiftfoot Boots, you get hexproof and haste, phasing on the Teferi's protection, indestructible, phasing, and then we also have a little bit of resurrection with Unburial Rites because it's black and white deck and it's just the best resurrection spell you can use in this format. And then we also have our removal column, Patriarch's Humiliation, one of the alchemy style cards. Target creature perpetually loses all abilities and then deals damage to the creature equal to the number of creatures you control. But you don't even have to have a creature to make good use of this. If you see something that's a real problematic thing, like, say, a commander with a special ability, or, I don't know, just about anything, like, Venerated Rot Priest. That's a good one. Just hit it for 0 damage and just knock it into nothing. It's a vanilla creature until it dies. We also have Swords to Plowshares, Exile, Destruction for Planeswalkers and Creatures, Artifacts, Enchantments, Creatures and Planeswalkers. Anything that's not a land can get exiled. Settle the Wreckage. This thing will just mess people up because people don't remember this spell for some reason. I think everybody's so hung up on the Wandering Emperor that they forget about Settle the Wreckage, and this thing makes that look like a joke. We also have by invitation only. I'm using this Wrath effect because we're generating so many might tokens off of Ria. By the time we actually need to use this, we should have, 4 or 5 tokens available to us. We, select 5, sack the 5 tokens. Well, they're probably sacking a bunch of actual creatures to this instead and might be losing their entire side of the board while you still keep most of yours. We also have Gix's Command. You can kind of do multiple modes here. You can put counters on something to make it bigger to get more mites off of Ria or gain some life back. You can destroy all creatures power 2 less if you need to create a pathway to punch through, but remember, it will destroy your mites if they're not pumped up high enough. You got return 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand, so again, it's kind of like a semi-protection thing where you can get stuff back that got killed. Or each opponent sacrifices a creature with the highest power that they control. So sometimes they just have a big beefy thing that you need to get rid of. Thrun, making reference to my last deck I just got done playing, and you can't target Thrun. Well, this can kill him. If he's the biggest thing on the board, he goes bye-bye. And then we have our mana fixing. We have Dark Ritual, Arcane Signet, Cold Steel Heart, Mind Stone, Relic of Legends, the rocks that I usually jam in most of my Brawl decks. And then we have Solemn Simulacrum to get some lands out of the deck and gives us a card when it dies. We We also have some card drawing as well. Speaking of that, we have Esper Sentinel, we have Village Rites, Deadly Dispute, the sack and draws, just some of the good draw spells in the format. Tokacious Welcome. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield 3 or less, it triggers once per turn. You get a card. So if you're creating might tokens, you're going to get a card off of that on the turn. And then we also have Black Market Connections, pay life, draw cards, or make treasures. Once in a while, you might want to make the Mercenary, but yeah. And then we also have, this is the Rancid Beef column, basically. This is all the discounted black beaters that we have in the deck, or things that kind of classify there. So we have like Evolve Sleeper, you pay, make it bigger and bigger and bigger, and if they let it through with Ria's ability, you're going to get a bunch of mites. Blade of the Oni, it's an equipment that's a cheap beater unto itself. It can get through easier because it has Menace, but it can then also grant Menace to something else if you reconfigure onto it. So this has a kind of a dual purpose. We have Misery's Shadow. It's a 2/2, but if they let it through, you can pump it, and if it was targeted by Ria, you're going to get basically a mite for every mana you dump into it. Tenacious Underdog, 3/2 for 2. It's just a cheap hitter. Same thing with White. Graveyard Trespasser hits the graveyard and gives us a cheap 3/3. Rotting Regisaur, which is probably the cheapest, most rancid beat in the deck. For 2 and a black, you get a 7/6. Yeah, you got to discard cards to it, but if it hits 1 or 2 times, you get a bunch of might tokens, and you're probably already won at that point. Drana, Liberator of Malakir, it's a 2/3 flyer for 3. It has first strike, but it also helps buff our stuff up. So if you swing with Drana, you swing with everything else, all of a sudden, first strike damage hits, she hits and puts a counter on everything first, and then they do the damage. So all of a sudden, your mites might end up being 3/2s out of the blue because Drana's going to put a counter on them, and then the Battle Cry trigger off of Ria's going off at the same time. Gix Yawgmoth Praetor, for 1 black, we get a 3/3, and it helps us draw cards. You can also use its discard effect, but I never have yet. Just remember, whatever creature is picked by Ria's ability, you're not going to get to draw cards off of because it has to deal combat damage to actually get it, and the damage is prevented. Nightcout Scavenger, it's a flying Death Touch lifelinker. Same concept. If you use this as your token generation source, you're not going to gain the life off of it. So you kind of have to balance and think about, do you need the life more than you need the creatures, or do you need the creatures more than you need the life? Gixian Puppeteer, this is just kind of one of my favorite cards, and I really like it. It's not like the best thing in the world, but if your opponent's card draw heavy, you're going to start draining them for a little bit of life, and it also helps us get some of our beaters back that have died, because we have a lot of cheaper stuff in the deck. This can bring a lot of it back. Bloodvial Purveyor, this thing gets a lot of flack because you're quote-unquote giving your opponent's card draw because you're giving them blood tokens. But the point here is it's a 5/6 flyer for 4 that even if it only hits for 5, that's 5 mites you can create off of Ria's ability. Same thing with Demon of Catastrophes. It's a 6/6 for 4, but you got to sack a creature, but we were making so many might tokens anyways. By the time you flop this down, who cares? And then Ebon Death, Dracolich for 4 mana, you get a 5/3 or a 5/2 flyer. You can flash this in at the end of your opponent's turn. Next turn, hit it with Ria, that's 5 tokens. Spawn of Mayhem, it can either come in as a 4/4 for 4 or a 4/4 for 3 with flying and trample. The point of a lot of this is it flies, it evades, it comes through, and almost no matter what, it's going to make contact with our opponent, and it's going to cause them to cough up tokens for us. Westgate Regent, this is probably the most dangerous one, but it's you kind of have to, again, play the juggling game. It's a 4/4 for 5 with ward, discard a card, and flies, but it has to deal damage to get bigger. So the best thing I can say to do with this is hit them once, get it to an 8/8, and then start preventing the damage so that you can hit them for 8 and get 8 tokens off of it. Steel Seraph, this can help us get stuff to fly over and hit them, or get us life back if we need it, or whatever method of madness we need to do here. And it's a good sized beater unto itself. And then we also have, speaking of the same kind of concept, Phyrexian Fleshgorger, it's a Menace Lifelink 7/5, and if it can actually go through it a little easier as the Menace, and the bigger you let it go, the more tokens you'll get off of it. But sometimes you may just want it as a 3/3 because they don't have enough blockers to get, and the Menace will let it get through. So you can kind of counterbalance that as you go along. And then we have ways we can force damage through or increase our stuff, of that nature, which is what I really like here. We have Blackblade Reforged. Creature gets +1/+1 for each land you control, so it makes the stuff bigger, so you get more might tokens out of it. We have Maul of the Skyclaves. Grants Flying makes them bigger and allows them to hit in. Same thing with Demonic Embrace. Grants Flying makes them bigger, and you can get Demonic Embrace back if it were to get blown up for whatever reason, or the creature gets blown up that it's on. So you can keep hitting through and making more and more tokens, because the whole point of this deck is to make as many tokens as quickly as possible and run them over. And then we have what I call the synergy pile here. Soul Warden, we're making a bunch of tokens, get a bunch of life back. Throne of the Godfarer, we're attacking aggressively with the tokens and the creatures, so we're going to have a bunch of leftover tapped creatures at the end of combat, and this is going to help push extra damage on top. We also have Wedding Announcement. We're spitting out extra tokens, but then it buffs our tokens after it flips into the third counter. Adeline, she gets bigger for every creature we control, and if you give her flying or you give her some kind of evasion, she's going to hit really hard and make us a bunch of tokens. Iran Benalia's Ruin. This thing actually won me a game because the opponent miscalculated their combat damage, and I was facing down 6/6 and 7/6 tramplers at 1 life, and I beat them because of Iran. They screwed up, they messed up their combat math, and I was able to sacrifice like a token or some other creature, and it's all of a sudden it's like, oh crap, they're big enough now to win out the combat and not take the damage. And then we also have Anointed Procession, doubling up our tokens. Just, every time a token's created, you get 2 of them. Mondrak is here as well to do the same thing as that, because that's another version of the thing. And you can sacrifice the tokens to make him indestructible. And then backing up just one card here, we have Might Overseer. We're trying to beat down. We're not trying to go for the toxic side of this. So this is here to boost our tokens up so that they hit a little bit harder, and it gives them first strike as well. And he can create Phyrexian Might tokens, but oftentimes you're hitting so hard and so fast with this, you're not going to have time to worry about making those tokens. You're just going to go for the throat. And then we also have Cathar's Crusade. Again, we're making a bunch of these little mites. Well, if you drop, 4 or 5 mites on the board, all of a sudden that's 4 or 5 counters going on to everything. And if they don't have a board wipe, they're dead. And then the last thing is Divine Visitation. What's better than a bunch of Phyrexian Mites? How about getting a bunch of 4/4 Angels with Vigilance and Flying instead? I only had it happen one time in the games. I got the Divine Visitation and I made a bunch of Angels, and our opponent had no answers. So, and then we have our mana base, your real basic stuff. Playing Swamp, I have Phyrexian Tower in here because we have Sacrificial Fodder to make the mana off of it. Takenuma to get stuff back. All of the black and white lands that we really have access to right now. Command Tower, Fabled Passage to go fetch whatever. Forsaken Crossroads, Mana Confluence. Just the things you need to do this. This is the deck. Oh my goodness. I had a lot of fun here. It worked out way better. Now, there's going to be changes that I'm going to talk about in the end of the video here. We'll get to those in a little while. For now, enjoy the gameplay. I had a blast. It's Golos. Okay. Someone remind me again why that thing is not banned. Alright, there it is. We'll keep this. We get Swords to Plowshares. I'm okay. Okay. There's our black. So we can get Ria up in short form here. Would have liked to have a Mana Rock, but whatever. Because we also have Lauren's Escape to protect. It's a big whatever. I can also, if it's the only thing, I can also force the sacrifice with Gix. Are we gonna play? What are we doing here? I mean, Tower's alright. And if they try to blow up my Black Blade, I can protect it with this. So, alright, so they're ramping. We're just kind of sitting here going, what are we doing? Okay. So now I have double black. I can do the Scavenger. Trying to decide. I think Scavenger is actually the play I want to make right now. Because then I can either protect it from a removal or Swords Golos. And then next turn I can play... If I get a land, I can play Ria. I'm trying to figure out what the exact smart play here is. Okay, there's Golos. And that's fine. We'll let Golos go search for the land. And then I'm just going to Swords the stupid thing. I don't care. We need to slow it down as much as possible. And then if they replay it next turn, I can always use Gix's command and make him sack it again. So, oh, Reggie's a good one. Let's play Phyrexian Tower. And tap that for a color, or wait. What do I want to do here? Yeah, tap that for a colorless. And make the game leave up the white. Let's put Ria down. Resolve. Why am I in full control now? Alright. Put it on the Scavenger. We'll swing with the Scavenger. We'll gain the life. We'll get the tokens out of it. Or we won't gain the life. What am I thinking? Prevents the damage. Anyways, we're getting tokens. Now, if they play a land and replay Golos, Gix's command can come into play and do some things for us. I also have Lauren's Escape for the removal again, as I said before. And I say there's Golos. Fine, go get your land. Gix's command will come say hi to you in a moment. Alright, they scry to the bottom, which is fine. Let's go ahead. They can sacrifice, and we'll put counters. Scavenger can get the counters. And we're just gonna go ahead and swing wide. I mean, I'm okay making a bunch of tokens. You. Alright, so we have a bunch of little dinks. Now, we're susceptible to a board wipe right now. That's the only downside of doing what I just did. Okay, not a board wipe. I'm okay with this. Now, she could get single target removed, though. Okay, it's a song. They keep looking at Ria and the Nighthawk, and I'm like, okay, are you gonna blast something or not? Okay. So for 6 mana, I can reconfigure and make that thing hit really hard. I mean, so what is that? Or can I just... The smart play would just be to put the Black Blade on something, right? Probably. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna put that on Ria. And we're gonna put the Scavenger to the test again, and we're just gonna swing. I mean, they're likely gonna block Ria. But right now they're facing 9 poison if they let all the little guys through. Okay. Now this time I have some protection. And we got lethal no matter what on the board right now. But we can keep Ria going, and then I could theoretically drop the Blade of the Oni on the ground if I draw something. Okay, all my little guys are going to die, and that's fine. That's okay. I'm not concerned. No. My brain was like, what do I do here? No. No, I don't want you. You'll just die to Elvish Norn. You can go away now. Okay. I mean, you go to 9, I move the sword, you die? Is that the right play? I'm okay with that. You know. Whatever. I'm not used to this deck, so I'm still learning the little ins and outs. Isshn. Alright. So we got attack triggers are us over there. Let's see. I'm going to keep it because I really like both of these. I like Black Market and Nighthawk Scavenger. I really got to learn that the cursor is shut off in the game, so you guys can't see what I'm pointing at. I have a bad habit of saying, oh, these are really good, and I'm like, you're not able to see what I'm pointing at. Alright, there's Adeline. She's getting just destroyed. I'm not even putting up with her. That's a no thank you. Let's go ahead and put the Scavenger down, because it's already big enough to start getting Ria going on the next turn. It's the tapping guy. Okay. Yeah, we'll do it. It's what we came here to do. This deck isn't even about like the poison. It's all about creating the board presence to run them over. Because that's what happened to me. Is I got in the game I went against this deck, Ria just took the game over, and I just couldn't do anything about it because I never drew the removal to stop it. So they'll attack with Moradins. It'll tap Ria. I'll take 5, right? Oh, they're not swinging with Squee. Okay. I'm mildly surprised. Hey, there's white mana. Oh, baby. Yes. This is the fun stuff I come for. Because guess what? Those are now angels. Forget the Phyrexian Mites. We now have angels. That is too funny. Oh, and that's even better, because I can now force them to sacrifice everything on their side of the board. Let's do... What do we do? See, they get a white creature, though, so the white creature can still block Ria. If I name red. Or I could just Rite of Oblivion it. Whatever. I gotta do this at instant speed, because if I don't do this right, it gets kind of funky. So now they can't block with their red creatures. They can only block with the Moradin's Disciple on one of these, or Ria. The mites not white? Oh, they're not. Oh, okay. I thought the Phyrexian mites were white for some reason. That makes that not as good as I thought. I might take that out. Let's do Black Market Connections and Esper Sentinel, because why not? Not like I'm sitting on protection. And unless they hit me with like a big board sweep all of a sudden, they're kind of dead. That's the silly stuff I put Divine Visitation in the deck for. It's like, okay, 1/1 mites with Toxic, or I get a bunch of 4/4 Flying Angels with Vigilance. Sounds like a fun time to me. Not so much for my opponent. Ha, one of my cheap dumb beaters. I put like a bunch of stuff in here that was like, it could be big and it was just dumb stuff, but it's like whatever. Yeah, we'll just do this because I can. Yeah, screw it. You. Yeah, I just wanted to smash. I could have been like real cheeky and went like for invitation only and sacked like 3 things and then smashed it through just to be like a complete jerk about it, but I wasn't gonna do that. Nissa. Ugh. This is one of, I think this is the only of the really good new commanders I have yet to beat. Like, no joke. Target creatures. I can only hit creatures. I can't hit planeswalkers with it, which is kind of annoying. But I think I want the white. I'd rather have the white mana. End turn. Oh, I guess I could have evolved it. I have never played Evolved Sleeper in a whole lot of anything, so that was an oops. Alright. Pay 2 makes it a 3/3. Or I could play... No, because I can't do both. Or, actually, I'm dumb. Why don't I do... Let's keep the mana rolling. And just play the Soul Warden and pass the turn. Because they would probably gladly block the Sleeper for that. Because ideally they go to advance the Ranger class, they swing with the 2/2, they don't have any blockers, and I drop Ria. I'm reading Ria all the way through. So she doesn't prevent the damage dealt to the creature. So a blocked version of a card would, you know, I'm taking that damage. Thanks. Alright, so here we go. Ria, her ability is going to do this. They're both swinging since I don't have any reason not to. And we'll end the turn. If they go to bulk that up, I have Patriarch's Humiliation. If they go to drop Nissa on the Phyrexian side... Okay, I'm just going to kill that. I was going to say I can kill one of Nissa's things, but yeah, no, we're not making oozes, we're not making bigger stuff, we're just saying no. Alright, so Phyrexian Tower. Let's go Evolve Sleeper 1, Evolve Sleeper 2. Next to combat, this. Swing. Oh, they went with the gang block. Okay. Sure. Let's do Nighthawk Scavenger. Sack one of our tokens. We'll just drop the Scavenger down. It's one of the reasons why Soul Warden's here, though, is to kind of chip my life back up, because we're going to be making tokens off of Ria anyways. Now I have a flyer, so even if they drop in Nissa with the horrors, I can, you know, get around that. I'm not too concerned about Seraph. Yeah, let's just do Gix, sacrifice 2 counters. You'll get the counters. She's gonna go here, and everybody goes in. And we're gonna gain 6 life because we're gonna have 6 tokens at the board. And yeah, we had 35 to their 11 and have a nice big board. And they can't. I want to kind of see what this would have played out as. The best thing they could have done at this point is probably play Nissa. They would get, you know, their big one. This is actually the first time I've beaten a Nissa Ascended Animist, which is kind of fun. And then I would have had 6 more of these tokens. They could have blocked 1 creature next turn and took, you know, probably, what? 6, 14... 18, 19, 20. They would have took like 20 damage next turn. Venser. This is another one of those commanders I've yet to do much against. They tend to proliferate me out. I'm going to try this hand, though. Because again, it's kind of got a good climb curve to it. If I can actually do anything with it. Okay, we got the 3rd mana. That's good. It means running Regisaur can come down. I'm kind of wanting them to waste their removal on the Misery Shadow. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and do the Rotting Regisaur. We're gonna swing. And the Regisaur is basically the name where the name of this deck came from, which is cheap rancid beef. It's just all the cheap undercosted stuff that can just come down fast and hit hard, and then we can get a bunch of tokens off of it. Shadow. We'll discard Unburial Rites. Ria Ivor's coming down. I'm gonna hit the Regisaur with it. And I'm going to get 7 tokens. It's like, who can poison faster? Not that I care at this point, because next turn I can swing for 14, 15, 16, 17. I could swing for lethal next turn with the Ria on the board. They're going to kill the Regisaur, which is fine. Oh no. Well, they were eyeballing it. I thought they would. Alright. Come on, give me something to evade with. Let's drop the Deadly... No. Yeah. No? Yes, no. Trying to think what I want. And drop the Swamp. Because I might need the Deadly Dispute to draw something. So, for now, here we go. Oh, they're going to... Gotcha! Yeah. Let's just do... Let's do Mondrak, because I can do it for free. Well, no, I can't do it for free. I don't have the extra mana. It's not 2 color, it's a colorless plus 2 color. That's okay. Black's board wipes are hard pressed to get rid of the Rotting Regisaur. I just didn't want them stopping me from contacting with the Regisaur, because if I would have put Mondrak down first, I think they would have blocked the Regisaur. Yeah, you can't block enough of the poison damage coming through next turn. They were dead. They were deader than dead. Lagomos, Hand of Hatred. All right. So whenever I've played against this in the past, it's been mostly about just getting out a bunch of little crap, not even worry about the tutor stuff. It's just make a bunch of little dudes. We'll try it. Esper Sentinel's first turn play. Because I at least net a card if they decide to try to burn it. Whereas if I try to do Selfless Savior, I don't get anything. So I get a card out of it, which is the idea here. All right, so we'll just go ahead and do the stone. Probably do the Savior and Iran next turn. Or, no, actually, I don't think I can because of the colored mana requirement because of the stone. I think I have to do just one or the other. Let's go ahead and shock ourselves. I want him down. Scourge Diva, okay. I'll take the damage, so... Oh, they're gonna do that, okay. Well... better him than Ria, I guess. It just keeps me from using Ria's ability this turn. Alright, so we're going to do Selfless Savior. And I'm actually going to play the Demon of Catastrophes, and I'm going to sack that. Because this is really hard for them unless they have a direct removal spell to get rid of. And then Ria can come down, and I can make 6 tokens off of it. At least that's the plan. Alright, so let's do Ria. They could probably kill her eventually, but I don't care. I'm going full ham here. We're doing the Ria Ivor thing. Now, if everything holds together here, then I can do it again with Mondrak on the board. I don't know that that's going to happen, though. Because now they got plenty of sacrificial fodder to play with. Not blocking, because they could kill her if I do. They can tutor now if they sacrifice everything. They'll kill one of my tokens, which is fine. If that's all they're doing is killing a token, like whatever. Alright, what do we got in the yard? Anything worth reanimating? No. I think at this point it's... they'll kill another token, and that's fine. I don't care. If I'd have sacked the stone, they'd have done the same thing. I want to go get another white source. Because we're going to probably need to get Mondrak online, like, rapidly. Hey, Demon. Go make me tokens. I'll take a dozen, thanks. And yes, I know if I sacrifice my stuff, they can shoot Mondrak, so I gotta be careful about that. But they're at the point where they don't have a lot that they want to keep alive either. I'm trying to think if I want to pass the end of turn, if I just want to go ahead and sack the 2. Because then they... no, because then I have to stack more, and they could stack triggers, and it's just... It's ugly with that Mayhem Devil, trying to keep Mondrak going. Okay, so they have Isshn. It's a big fat whatever. They could make Den of the Bugbear. They can exile cards. I mean, they have options. But they got to come up with... what? 9 total blockers to not bite a poison damage this turn? I think you're dead. Just a thought. Move to combat. Neiman. I'm gonna swing with everything but these 2. I think I have enough poison to kill them just outright, which is not gonna happen often with this deck, but when it does, it's fun. Oh, they actually have enough to survive. Okay. Because they shot the 1 token. Okay. Well, going from 0 to 9's fun. Do I have anything I want to bring back? No, not really. We'll go ahead and end the turn. They're gonna sit up against it regardless, and if they try to wipe the board, I just make Mondrak indestructible, and I have unbarrel rights to get stuff back. Oh, they're gonna tutor. How does his tutor work again? Only if 5 or more creatures died this turn. Okay, well, enough of my little guys died, so yeah, I guess that works. Meat hook for 4, eh? Let's just go with... because if I do it for 3, I still have enough mana to flash in Ebondeath. So let's sacrifice 1, 2... yeah, those 2. And then if I have to start playing around with other things, it's whatever. That's fine. If you're going to point them that way, I'm okay with that. Oh, it doesn't matter anyways, because the stupid meat hook. Okay, fine. Fine. It's negatives. I'm an idiot. Take action. I'm going to use unbarrel rights. Well, luckily it doesn't count all of my stuff dying, because that would suck. That's fine. I'm going to flash in Ebondeath. Isolated Chapel. Let's get Ria online again. Ebondeath can go in. That'll give me 5 more poisoners. What was that about? Oops. Yeah, that's what I thought. Raggadragga. Okay, this is another one of those commanders that have I've had a poor record against. I kind of like this hand, though. We'll start with the Esper Sentinel and have protection if they don't burn it out, and then have Might Overseer for later, which pumps my tokens. I kind of like that. He's a good-sized beater on himself, too. Alright, land. I will take it. There we go. Asian Caryatid A. Alright, let's do this. We have protection. If they decide they're going to do some kind of funky burn off, we could also just sack him and draw cards. Alright. We got options there. Let's go ahead and attack. Pass turn. We didn't get the double white to do Iran, so that's like whatever. But Fateful Absence can kill Raggadragga if they decide to play it. Could kill that too. Yeah. Nope. You get one treasure. That's all you're getting. You're not hitting me. Thanks. Alright. We're kind of suffering in the mana department. At least for what we got going on here. I'm gonna play Ria. Just because I can. Because if she dies, it's not like the end of the world. Plus, it gives us one token to start the festivities off with. Alright, so they went for the clue. That was where the holdups were. Alright, there's Raggadragga, so that makes the Caryatid bigger. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a thing. I would like a board wipe now. Oh, there's that. See, they got a bunch of 3/3s now. That does not, you know, make me very happy. Let's go ahead, you know, let's go ahead and do village rights on the token. Because we need to get answers, like, really quick, or we're just going to be dead. No, don't double screw me here. Colorless. Let's play Wedding Announcement. That leaves Lauren's Escape live. She can target herself. No attacks. End turn. We got Lauren's Escape on deck. If we need it. Which I might. I might have to do some weird blocking assignments here, because they got a lot of beef on that side of the board. I need one of my board wipes to show up. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna do some blocking here. Okay, so on this, the 3/4 can block the Caryatid only because I don't want it double manaing for them, if that's a word. And if they try to fry Ria in response, I have the protection available, so I'm not overly concerned. Something's holding priority, though. It might be Nylea's activated ability, because she has one to reveal the top card of your library. So, or they might have a pump spell. They just want to hit one of their other guys that got through and just punish me. So, or it could be trample for Nylea. There's a lot of things that could be. Gargaroth. Okay, yeah. I definitely need something here, or I'm just deep dog crap. Okay. Deep dog crap it is. Shoot. Let's go with the first striker, I guess. That enters tapped, so that doesn't do me any good. Next. Target the Might Overseer, because I'm not swinging into that mess. Alright, well I got a couple first strikers at the very least. But I think Esper Sentinel's getting shoved under the bus this turn. Alright. Wonderful. Alright, blockers. The 5/6 that doesn't trample. The 4/4 that's causing me nightmares. This guy. Yep, sorry, Esper Sentinel, you're bussing. Because I don't feel like having a Titanic Growth or something like that one-shot me. I guess it could. So. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. I'm glad I blocked. Though I guess Raggadragga dying doesn't hurt too much. Alright, we're gonna go to 1 because that Goreguts just got fat. Alright, there's a pathway. Let's set this to what? White? Yeah. Because we're gonna have to come up with just freaking moronic levels of stuff or we're gonna die. I mean, we're probably dead anyways, but let's go Iran. Let's go. If I Dark Writ, I can play the Puppeteer. Yeah, we're just going to have to do this. We're going to Dark Ritual. Tap that. Play this off that mana. That leaves Lauren's Escape available. Because we're going to have to gang block, which is really annoying. Alright, well at least we have the pumped up stuff now. Because Elder Goreguts, we're going to have to place some things in front of. Okay! It's like, you have fat. I get it. Alright, well, they hung back. That's something. No, I don't want to use all my white mana. God bless it. Alright, and this costs 1 and a thingy to do, so... Alright. Let's just drop the... Do I drop the white, or do I... If I sack that, I get the Westgate Regent. Because that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would, I could leave a black and a white open. I'm trying to think how this would settle out. Let's do this. Sack the token. I have to manually tap all of this because I really don't want to have the auto tapper screw me. Alright, so we still have mana available to do, you know, whatever with. No attacks. End the turn. So, Iran could do the Gixian Puppeteer, which would then bring back something if I need to. Alright, there's Raggadragga. We have Lauren's Escape as well. Oh, they going for it. Okay. Resolve. Alright. Pass 2 blockers. So we have to block everything. So, Might Overseer is going to block the Carnage Tyrant. Iran and the Puppeteer are blocking the Gargaroth. Just trying to figure out what's going to be the best way to do this. Did I get everything? Hang on. I gotta figure out for sure. So Ria, no, because I've got a 3/3 coming through. Shit. Okay, hang on. Damn it. Thinking. Westgate Regent has to block the Gargaroth. Might Overseer has to block the Carnage Tyrant. The Puppeteer can block here, because I'm just going to sack it. She can block here. Iran can block here. 5 blockers. Do you have a pump that goes trample, trample, trample? Alright. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to sack the Puppeteer. I'm going to put a counter on everything. First strike will kill him. Oh, crap. Alright. Yeah, you oopsed, alright. Let's see here. What do we got? Let's play the white. Ria can target herself. I'm going to send Ria... Yeah, I'm going to send Ria by herself. If they want to block with Raggadragga, that's fine. If not, I get a bunch of tokens. Alright, end turn. Which right now are 2/2s, which will turn into 3/2s on the attack. There's their second red. Now the question is, do they have 2 things they can cast? Do you have another creature? Not one they can cast on the spot. Whew. That's good. Alright, I'm going to activate Iran. I'm going to put a counter on all this stuff. Go to my turn. Okay. This is hectic. Alright. Ria is going to target... I'm not actually going to target my own stuff. I'm going to target the Terror. And I have to go just total balls to the wall right now. I don't want to sacrifice any damage. I think I have them. I think I have them. Between the Might Overseer pump, the Wedding Festivity, and all the counters I've been shimmying around, I think I got them on all this. They thought they had me with the trample, but they didn't have a pump. But I'm not gonna good game them because that rubs me wrong when people do it to me too. I'm not gonna be that petty. Now I'm gonna go back. Good game. If they offer it up, I'll give it to them. Because yeah, you got a lot of damage coming through. There's 20 right here. Youch. And that was just in first strike damage. There was, what? Another 13 coming through? And they were at 24, so I just did 28. And then another 14 puts us at like 42 damage. Ow! Halana and Alena. Alright. Let's see where this goes. I kind of like this hand because it has the blade in the opening hand along with the black blade. Okay, we have enough here. Like, if I were to draw a Ron, I can do the double white and still cast him on 3. Alright, they have a Llanowar Elves. They're going hard for Halana and Alena. I think... think I'm just going to drop the Black Blade, so if they want to waste a turn removing it, I'm okay with that. Okay, now they're just turbo ramping right now. Somebody's trying to call me. It's not a number I recognize, so nope, sorry, not going to answer. Let's see. Let's go ahead and drop the Blade of the Oni. And I do have a God's Willing to keep it alive if they have a burn or a artifact removal spell. And if they just want to play Halana and Alena and pump their elves, I can also block and kill it that way. Oh, this is a hidden Bard class deck, I think. Okay. I see what's going on here. Alright, so I can get a clean shot straight through with the blade, so that's what we're going to do. Because it's got menace, so we'll get 3 tokens off of it. And then next turn, depending on what they play, what they do, I can either sit back on Settle the Wreckage, or I can play Gix's Command on my turn. What the heck does level 3 do? Oh, gives you exile effects. I'll take this. Because this is what? Highest power, so I can force them to sacrifice Yorvo, which is fine. Let's drop... Let's do the Fabled Passage. We'll go ahead and go get black, because we're using the black. Do I want the... Actually, I want the white. Now that I think about it. Okay. So, I can swing wide with everything. I'm going to sit on Settle the Wreckage. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit up the blade. I'm gonna swing wide. Just to keep myself safe, just in case. And that's fine. So we get four more tokens. I have God's Willing and Settle available. I could have played the Spawn of Mayhem and still had the God's Willing, but I want... Okay, that's whatever. Because if they try anything funny... Yeah, oh, come on. Bring it. Bring it in. Bring it in. Oh, they did it! Get wrecked! Literally, get wrecked. Oops. I think people forget about Settle the Wreckage. I think they're so like, oh, well, they might have the Wandering Emperor. Well, no, I have the better version. Alright. I think I can just kill them outright. So we're just going to target their creature and swing. No more playing around. Never forget Settle the Wreckage. I really hope you guys had as much fun watching these games as I did playing them out and talking about this deck. This was a big surprise for me. I was very impressed with this deck. Now, there are some changes I would make. Like, I would take out Brave the Elements. It doesn't do enough for the deck. I would probably slot in either another Beater or a Mana Rock or some other protection spell, something else just to make the deck flow along a little bit better. Because sometimes it was just straight in my hand, or, you know, I accidentally errantly cast it thinking it was going to do something that it didn't do for me. Because I thought Phyrexian Mites were white. They're actually just artifact creatures. So, with that said, if you have any ideas that you'd like to put out there, go ahead and do it in the comments. I'm all ears. I love upgrading decks. I love making changes to things. And as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. And we will see you in the next video.